Hi guys, welcome to the show. I'm so excited about our conversation today because if there's anything I like, it's a woman that defies the status quo. That says, you know what, they think I'm supposed to be like this, but this is how I want to be, so everybody can screw off. I know firsthand how much strength, courage, and constant resilience that must take. So let's get into it. DJ Lambo, hi.
Hi,
Thank you for coming on
hi.
my show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
So fill me, what's up? What have you been up to?
Whoa, I've been up to a lot. Where do I start from?
I don't know, whatever you feel like.
I've been up to so much. I've been traveling a lot lately.
I know, I see that today you are like in LA, tomorrow you're in Lagos, you know.
Well, we thank God. We thank God. In 2022, I think they're about, 20, we're in 24 now. Yeah, 2022. Actually, from like 2021 into 2022, I just kind of made up my mind that I want to travel a lot and I want to dominate the world pretty much. So I became a little bit more intentional about getting gigs outside of Nigeria.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and thankfully it's been amazing. I got signed to Spaceship.
Hey.
So yeah,
Yay,
so
congrats.
thank you, thank you.
How long ago was this?
This was in 2021,
Okay.
actually, but we really started working in 2022.
Okay.
So in 2021, it was just like unofficially, pretty much, but now it's like official since 2022. And since then, I don't know if you know, but I've been touring with Burna. We've been on 2 tours. And
yeah, I saw a picture.
Yeah. It's
You
been
guys.
really, really
It's been
amazing.
good?
Yeah. So that's what I've been up to.
Okay, nice. So what does dominating the world mean to you though?
Dominating the world means just like, so when I first started DJing, if you ask me like where I see myself like in the future, I would say like playing at stadiums, you know what I mean? And so far from playing at stadiums in Nigeria, like Agege, Enugu, and places like that, I've now played at stadiums in London, stadiums in LA, you know what I mean?
Gone across the border.
Yeah, gone across the border. So dominating the world for me would be doing that on like my own personal, like not opening for anyone. You know what I mean? Just doing that as DJ Lambo, you know what I mean? And having people coming out, like filling up an arena
Just for you.
just for DJ Lambo. You know what I mean? And it's not far-fetched because some of the DJs I look up to are doing that already. You know what I mean? So
Female
I think for
DJs?
me,
Female DJs?
no, not female DJs.
It's okay, we'll get there.
We'll get there. We will get there. There's some female DJs who are doing really big things, like being booked for really big shows that I also want to be booked on. You know what I mean? But getting to the point where just a single DJ, I'm talking about Black Coffee now, is headlining a show at Madison Square Garden. I think for me, that's goals.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So.
And you're putting like plans in place to be able to get there.
Well, I mean, I won't say I have an actual step-by-step plan or a guide that I can tell you that, okay, this is what I did to get there or this is what I'm doing to try and get there. But I feel like as life is, you know, I'm just putting one step in front of the other. And I'm hoping that at some point I'll turn back and realize, oh, I just climbed a mountain. You know what I mean? So I'm doing all the right things. I'm hustling, I'm grinding, doing these small shows to like put my name out there. You know what I mean? I'm hoping that eventually I'll get there.
Yeah, you know, there are like a lot of information on the internet. You don't even know which one is correct. But I was reading one post that says you've been doing this for like maybe 12 years.
Yes.
Or like 15, how many years?
I just opened my eyes because when you say, oh, I saw something on the internet, I'm just like, gosh, what did you see?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been a DJ since like 2011, but like officially and professionally and full-time since 2012.
Yeah.
I'd say because that's when I moved to Lagos.
From?
Abuja.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that was before it was like even cool to be like a female DJ
Look,
You know, I feel
that
like
was before many things, in fact, sorry, I cut you.
no
Go
worries. Go ahead.
ahead.
It's your floor. I'm just
That
here.
was before many things. First of all, DJs in general were not even given as much, recognition as they've been given out. There were only a few like big DJs at that time. You know what I mean? And so not only is DJing not like a profession that your parents
Oh
really
my
want
God,
you
the
to,
parents. It's
yeah,
like if you're not a
and
doctor, a
then
lawyer.
exactly, and
Yeah.
then I'm now a female DJ again. So feel like I feel like the stacks were up against me, but and that made me kind of like take my time with it. You know what I mean? Because it's something I've always wanted to do. It's something that's always been in my mind
To
to
be a
do.
DJ?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
As far as how old? Like from when like you were a child?
No, not from when I was a child.
Okay.
Definitely, from maybe when I was in uni a little bit. I played with the idea, but when I was done with uni, I was 100% sure like I really wanted to do this. But no, actually, while I was in uni, I started learning from there was this club I used to frequent, and I started trying to learn with the DJ who used to DJ there. Gosh, I don't remember his name now. But anyway, so one time he came, like daytime, he came and he was trying to show me the stuff, but man, at that time, my attention span was like on 0. I couldn't, it seemed too difficult for me. So I was just like, I don't think I'm going to do this. Besides, am I just going to be DJing in a club? You know what I mean? Let me even finish with school. You know what I mean? So I wasn't too gingered at that point. And then, but by the time I was done with uni, I was just like, look, I need to do this. I really need to do this.
But did anything like really influence like your choice for? Because you read English, I think I saw.
Yeah, English
Okay.
and
So
literary
from
studies.
English to like being a DJ, did anything like influence your? Did anything put the idea in your head, or it was just like it started off as something to get like an income?
So two things. One, the English. I mean, I've always been good with English. You know what I
Okay.
mean? I've always been an exceptionally great English
English
student,
students, okay.
and literature was also one of like my favorite subjects, right? But again, this was in like 2000, right? And it's either you're a lawyer, banker,
Doctor.
accountant, doctor, engineer,
Or
whatever.
you're wasting your parents.
Yeah,
You wasted their
exactly.
money. Yeah.
First of all, I started as a science student self, but
like me.
obviously that didn't work out, so I changed to arts. And then the only thing I could have done was to study law. So I wanted to study law. Well, I won't say I wanted to study law. Let me just get that straight. I feel like with all the options I had or my parents had for me, law was the only one that kind of fits my. You know how they tell you, oh, you can talk, you can
Oh my
debate,
God,
blah
you
blah
should be
blah.
a
You should be a
lawyer.
lawyer.
Yeah. Also, they
So
did it to all of us.
they
then.
did it to all of us exactly. So I just kind of felt like, okay, let me try and study this law thing, but my jam results was not great enough for me to go into law. So I had the choice of either doing theater arts or English. I really wanted to do theater arts because I was like, yeah, I could be an actor. Like it fits my personality. But my family, well, most importantly, my brother, my older brother, he was like, if you do theater arts, it's gonna like your hands are going to be tied to theater arts, but you can do English and then do anything pretty much. You know what I mean? If you want to act, you can still act. If you want to do this, you can still do this. This brother I speak of studied biochemistry in uni, but he ended up, he works in a bank.
Who's
Do you
that?
get him? My brother.
Okay, yeah.
So he was like, oh, look at me, I studied biochem, but I'm working in a bank now, that sort of thing. So I was just like, okay, you know what? I love English anyway. Let me do English. So I say all that to say that, first of all, the English was not really something I
wanted to-
really wanted to do. It just kind of happened, right? And
So you would have done law?
no, I wouldn't have done law. Maybe I would have done the theater arts
okay.
or Right now, if you give me a choice, maybe I would have done something more. This is gonna shock you, but something more like business related, maybe
Doesn't
like
shock me.
business administration. Yeah, because I mean, it seems like I would have gone for something a bit less serious, but
Okay.
I feel like I would have still been a DJ, still been doing all the things that I want to do, but having like that business education would have given me a stronger, because there's so much I've had to learn
Along the
along
line,
the line,
on
yeah,
your
but
own.
on my own, you know what I
And you
mean?
feel like school could have given you the advantage for it.
Exactly.
Well, you were President Chuck Boy one time.
Yes,
How
I
did that
was.
go?
I mean, it
To be
was
female and then President Chuck Boy. Balls. You must have, how did that come about and how did it go?
well. I mean, I've always been one of the boys. You know what I
Okay.
mean? As much as I hate to say that,
It's okay.
but
We get it.
I've always kind of been one of the boys. So and being in Chocolate City, being signed to Chocolate City at the time, I was pretty much holding it together. You know what I mean? Even
Chocolate City now.
yeah, Chocolate City. Well, when I say holding it together, I mean like holding the artists
Okay.
together. You know, and Chocolate City was getting to a point where we were signing different artists under different like imprints. So there was like different imprint labels. Like there was CBN, which was Chuck Boy Nation. There was Street Billionaires, and there was
Oh, you guys had different tiers on
yeah, under Chocolate City. And there was one other one. Oh my God.
It's been how long now?
This was like before COVID.
Okay,
So
like
I'll say
2019.
yeah, in 2017, 18, maybe 18, 19. I don't know. I've lost track of time with
Because
before
so much
COVID
has
and after
happened.
COVID. Yeah, so
Yeah.
much has happened. You know. Anyway, so to cut the long story short, like with the artists, a lot of the artists would naturally come to me when they have issues. You know, like when you have like some issues and you can't bring it to like, for lack of a better phrase, let me say your boss directly. You can bring it to someone else who is more relatable, who you
More
feel
accepting.
who you feel can then
Help your.
tactfully
So were you like an
relay.
were you like an artist manager or?
I wasn't even an artist manager. I was just me. I was just Lambo. Like everybody just, I don't know. And people will come to me with their issues, like artists will come to me with their issues. I'll go to M and be like, oh, this person is not happy, blah, blah, blah. Let's do this, let's do that. You know what I mean? I would organize hangouts. Everybody comes to my house, I'll cook. You know what I mean? Let's do this, let's go to the beach, let's hang out, let's do that. So when those imprint labels were starting to happen, the CEO at the time, MI, was just like, okay, you know what? Lambo is going to be the head of CBN, you know, and I
But it
would
was
say
important.
the biggest label
Okay.
of all the imprints. So for me, that was like a huge deal. And
Did it come as a shock?
no, it didn't come
No?
as a shock because, like I said, I was already in the role even before I was officially in the role. You know what I mean? And so for me, it was just like doing what I was already doing, but on a more
Now it's professional.
official level.
Okay.
So I think for me, so at that point, I wanted to do something that to just kind of like, you know how you have like an agenda as a president, like, okay, first 100 days in office, blah, 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 that sort of thing.
Because then you had more power.
I had more power and I could do more stuff and I could like even approach brands and be like, okay, this is who I am now. This is what I'm trying to do. This is what I'm trying to build. So I had a conversation with MI and he was like, oh, let's just do a tour, a CBN tour. Let's do like a university tour. And I think we did about 5 cities, I think, before I left.
Before you left.
Yeah.
But like everything's still cool. Everybody's still friends.
Everybody's so cool. My contract just expired.
It ended.
And I think COVID had just started at this point. Because COVID was 2020, right?
Yeah.
COVID had just started, and I was just thinking at that point, I needed to kind of do something on my own. I had already started thinking about this world
Global.
domination
Yeah.
thing, yeah. So for me, I was just like, I mean, it's hard to leave because this was like my family and everything. And it's hard to leave because I was just starting to build something with Chuck Boy Nation.
Yeah.
But I also kind of had to take a step back and be like, you know what? I think it's time for me to actually like do something for myself.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
So
get it.
I was just like, nah, let me not
I get it.
renew my contract.
Okay. So because there's no like, we don't have like a lot of female DJs, it's really hard to say that this is what the life of a DJ is like. And I feel like when we explain something figuratively,
Yeah.
we kind of get like a deeper thought because then we express more with our words. I'm saying all of this to say, to say, if you were to describe what it means to be a female DJ figuratively, how would you say, what would you say it's truly like, truly?
First of all, I don't like to say female DJ or male DJ. I feel like
just DJ.
we're just DJs, period, right? What it's like to be a DJ, there are different tiers to it, you know. First of all, to be a DJ, you kind of need to figure out how to like make yourself, you need to have like a unique selling point. You need to figure out how to make yourself different because and literally anybody can. I have friends who are not DJs who, when we're all hanging out, play music and it's almost like there's a DJ playing. It's just that like there's no transition, there's no mixing. They're literally playing a song after the other, but everything is just like is gelling. Like if only you had the technical know-how, you would be a great DJ.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So anybody can play music, but you need to figure out what makes you different from just somebody playing music. You know what I mean? You need to kind of have your own style and have something that just makes you different.
So what's your something?
I don't know. It's a lot of things. Firstly, I feel like it's my personality when I'm playing, because like I hype. Also, I'm on the mic. I'm talking to you. I'm saying different things. I'm interacting with the crowd. I think for me, that's one of my biggest selling points: the crowd interaction thing.
Yeah.
And so, I haven't really answered your previous question, and I would say that what it's like being a DJ is figuring out that thing and just kind of like working on that, developing that, and making it something that you can actually sell.
So what's the business like? Lucrative, or it can be better, or?
The business is lucrative, but it's also, like I just said, now anybody can play music, and people are now starting to feel like, oh, if anybody can play music, why do I have to pay more to have such and such? I might as well just give this guy a 50K in Naira.
And sometimes those 50K guys, they always lead to like when you go to like naming ceremonies and they start like it's Two-Face next minute, then it's Wasiu the next, and you know,
some of them are really dope.
Yeah.
Some of them have like a lot of talent, right? So I guess when you say is it lucrative,
Yeah.
it is, but you have to be intentional about building a brand that people actually want to pay for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That guy that is actually lit in some naming ceremony or wherever, he's dope, but he doesn't have a brand that he can pay for. At the end of the day, like you don't even want to pay him more than that because he's coming there in some. So Obi was telling me that some wedding DJs will ask you for 50K for the DJing and 10K for feeding. I'm like, what is 10K for feeding? Like, I don't even understand what that means. Do you get what I mean? You're already giving them the impression that you're hungry. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So, for me, I feel like you need to create a brand that is like, okay,
when you give them your price, they'll be like, yeah, it's worth
Yeah,
it.
it's worth it because they know what they're paying for. You know what I mean?
And I'm sure a lot of people want to do this but don't know how. So how would you say to go about it?
Building a brand is not easy. Number one. Number two, like I said, like your USP has to be obvious.
What's
You know
your
what I mean?
USP?
Unique selling points. I think I said that earlier.
Did you?
I said
No.
unique selling points,
Okay,
but I
you
just
didn't say
said
USP. So USP, unique selling point.
it has to be obvious, like from your brand. Like when you step into a room, people need to know that, oh, who's that? And it's not even about how you look, it's just really about creating a brand that stands out. For example, I'll say DJ Spinall, right? When you see Spinall, he's always wearing a hat. He's always like decked out. Like once he comes in, you're like, oh, okay, this is something I want to be associated with my brand. You know what I mean? When you see someone like Jimmy Jat, he's wearing his hat, his glasses, he looks sharp. You know what I mean? And when he's on the deck, he looks so cool. You're like, oh, this is someone I want to be associated with. You know what I mean? So I feel like one, you need to get like your physical brand.
So that's important.
It's very important. Like dress the way you want to be addressed.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like just if you walk into a place without saying anything, let them know that someone is in this place. You know what I mean? So I think for me that's one with your branding. Physically, your branding needs to be on point. Then everything else you're doing, like keep it clean, keep it. If you're, and for me, I would advise that your personality shouldn't be far from what your brand is because you it would be hard for you to keep up. You know what I mean? But if your brand is your personality, it would be easy
because then you don't have to think.
Yeah. So like me, I'm the life of the party, and that's pretty obvious. Like from my Instagram, from everything, like you can see that. Oh, there's just this happy-go-lucky.
Okay. So if I wanted to switch careers now and come and join you in the DJ industry, what's going to be my first step? What do I have to do first?
You have to learn.
How to do
So yeah, you have to really learn because I find that a lot of people now these days. Oh my God, do we have time? I feel like I'm talking too much.
It's okay.
A lot of people I find these days just want to be DJs because now, like DJ, everybody has seen that, oh, being a DJ is so cool. You know what I mean? I can play music, so that means I can DJ. You know, let me just be a DJ. But they don't really, and then they're focusing on like building a brand and doing all that stuff, but they're not really focusing on the arts, the actual arts, DJing art. You know what I mean? So I would say learn and be very good even before you come out. And then for you now, Maury, like you already have a brand that's like this bubbly, funny. So I don't think you have any issues. People already love you.
Yeah.
But what would be so sad is how if people already love you and respect you so much, and then you come to play and you you do nonsense. That would be so sad.
And they'll be like, you should have just stayed with your content.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get it.
So for me, I feel like you can do everything you want to do. You can be the biggest brand. You can have 1 million followers. You know what I mean? But if you don't actually know the art, then what are you doing? You know what I mean?
Okay. So where do I learn from? Okay, if I wanted to be a makeup artist, I know where to go. If I wanted to do nursing, I know where to go. If I wanted to do DJ.
So for me personally, I've always grown up with a mantra that's like, if you want something done, do it yourself. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah. I pretty much learned myself because I'll tell you what, there's no DJ that is busy that you actually want to learn from, that you look up to and want to learn from, that really has the time to teach you.
Okay.
So I would say, but there's a lot of free resources online. I'll say get what you need. If it's a laptop, if it's a small controller, get it and start trying on your own to learn. And then whoever it is that you look up to, like for you, if you really wanted to be a DJ, if you start doing all those things and you call me and be like, oh, Lambo, I'm trying to figure out such and such and such. And even over the phone, I can tell you, okay, do this, do that, do this, do that. I have a friend recently who started DJing, and one time she just video called me. I was like, oh, this is what I'm trying to do. And then I was just like, oh, do this, do that, do this, do that. And I was so impressed by that. I'm like, look, if you have any questions, just call me. But I'm not going to sit down with you and be like, okay, 1 + 1 is 2, 2 + 2 is 3. Just try and start learning by yourself, and then as you go along, you keep learning. And
Okay, and so sorry, I do like a lot of research.
Okay.
Because we're coming on the show, so I had to do my homework. And I saw that maybe only about 10 to like 20% of women are DJs.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's like a male-dominated industry.
Yeah.
Right? So what are some of the challenges, if there are any, that you have faced? Or maybe because earlier you said you don't see it as male or female, but the statistics are still there. The numbers are there. So are there any challenges that you faced?
Well, when I first started DJing, my biggest challenge was carrying heavy equipment. That stuff was so heavy. I was just like, oh my God. Yes, I had to do it by myself because at this point, I was even not only DJing myself, DJ for MI, I was also like shadowing a DJ called DJ Case.
That's watching how it works so that you can
I was working for him.
Okay.
So if he had a gig, I would go earlier, set up,
play,
put all the equipment, play when there's like 2 people in the room until the party starts, and then he comes on and stuff. So actually, that was a really, really important learning experience for me because I got to learn a lot. I got to meet so many people. I got to experience a different side of things. You know what I mean? So that's another thing. If you can, I would say, shadow someone that you look up to, it would also help your career. You know. So like carrying all that equipment, setting up, and nobody's even looking at you trying to help you. Like you have to do what you have to do. You know what I mean? That was one challenge. That was one thing that I was just kind of like tired of. And then like waiting. Oh my God.
What do you mean waiting?
They would blow up your phone calling you.
Yeah.
Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? You're supposed to have been here from 10. Meanwhile, the party's starting at like 4.
Yeah.
So I always say like hurry up to wait.
Okay.
Because you hurry up, get there on time, and then you have to wait for a long time, just hanging around, not really doing anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
then more serious challenges now is that there's this notion, because it's a male-dominated industry, there's a notion that like women don't know how to do the job. So a lot of the time, like getting opportunities for me was like, I literally have to work twice as hard to get half.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was even a conversation I was privy to when someone said that, someone was like, let's use Lambo for this thing. And the guy was just like, that one now, woman now. What we won't use woman do? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like he was like, I mean, we get somebody, like I mean, we get correct man, something like that. So I was just like, what? The guy just looked at me. I was just like, do you get what I mean? Because
did he not see you in the room though?
No. It was on the phone. He put it on speaker.
Okay. Oh wow.
So I could hear. Yeah. So that conversation I was just kind of let down.
Yeah.
And I was let down, but I was also able to kind of like rise above it in the sense that I'll show you. Do you get what I mean? So,
love that energy.
So it kind of like gingered me to just kind of like work a lot harder to like get the things that I wanted. So Challenges being female is number one, getting opportunities, and number two, on another side of it, is that a lot of guys want to give you opportunities for what they can get from you. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I personally haven't really experienced this because, like I said earlier, I feel like people just regard me as one of the boys. But I've heard a lot of situations, I've seen a lot of situations where guys want to give you an opportunity, but they also want to, yeah. And for me, it's just disgusting because I'm just like, why don't you just, if you want to give someone an opportunity, give the person an opportunity, like, you know what I mean? Then another challenge is like middlemen. Oh my God.
What do you mean middlemen?
Like, so there's some companies who agents, kind of like agents. Okay. They're not official agents.
Yeah.
So there are some companies who don't book talent directly.
Yeah.
They go through like a company.
Yeah.
But some of those companies now have some guys, even some of their staff, that will be like, such and such is looking for a talent. We can put you, but you have to do such and such for us, or for me. These are even staff of those companies, and sometimes those companies will now hire some guys that they feel have relationships with these artists. Yeah. Those ones will now come and say, Lambo's fee is 20K. Lambo 20K. I can get Lambo for 10K now. Wow. Do you get what I mean? They will now come and meet you and beg. I'll give you two examples, right? I hope we have time. One, this one guy hit me up and was like, there's this brand, they want to do a show around Nigeria. It's like 10 shows, blah, blah, blah. Give it to me at this price, right? This is like half the price, right? So I'm like, okay, it's a lot of shows, it adds up. I was just starting to be that DJ around the city. So I was like, okay, well, it's a lot of shows. It takes me around. It helps my brand as well. Let me just do it, right? And then he said, but you know me, this is how I make my money. So even out of that, you have to cut me something. So I was like, I'm not a greedy person. Sure, why not? You know what I mean? So then one of the guys, because I also had a personal relationship with one of the guys who works at the agency, Gong. He now called me. I was like, how far? I don't think he called me. I think this was a random conversation, or I saw him somewhere and I was like, I spoke to this guy, and he's like, this is what he said, like, me, I'm excited, like, what's up? And he's like, how much did he tell you? Yeah. And then I now told him, he's like, gosh, I just knew it. That's why I said, let me ask you. Yeah. Send me your invoice directly. Yeah. Don't go through him. Let's do this stuff together. Yeah. So, of course, I sent my invoice to who asked me to send my invoice, giving me my normal. Well, it wasn't like my normal fee, but it was like maybe in a case where this guy was cutting off 50%, this one was cutting off like 20%. So
he was still cutting, he didn't ask me. A better cutter.
Yeah, no. That was what the company was paying. Okay. You know, and he didn't ask me for anything. Okay. That was what the company was paying because it was a lot, and they were just like, just do it for us at this amount. You know what I mean? This other guy now calls me and says, Lambo, I heard you sent your invoice to such and such. I'm like, yeah, I saw him. And he was like, just send me your invoice. So I did. And then he was like, but me and you had a conversation. We had an agreement. You now went behind my back. Don't be surprised if these people don't call you for a show again, blah, 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 blah. This guy was yelling at me as if I was his child. Like, how could you do such a thing? Why you went behind my back? Me, I'm here, I'm fighting for you, this, and that, and that. I'm just like, okay, thanks. And I just cut the phone. But to me, I'm just like, look, firstly, you're not God. You can't say, these people are never going to call you again, blah, blah, blah. Like, you're not going to take money out of my pockets and then be threatening me again on top. Do you get what I mean? You know what? If that thing had happened now, I would have had so much to say to that guy. Yeah. But at that point, I was just like, thank God for patience and love in my heart. So I was just like, okay, no problem. You know, I was just like, okay, thank you. And I hung up. And then I called one of my other guys and I was just like telling him, like, can you imagine this guy just called me, yelling at me, telling me all this type of stuff. Like, meanwhile, this is what they're going to pay me. You know, he was just like, you know what, Lambo, just, it's a good thing you didn't say anything to him. Just let it go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was one situation.
Yeah.
Second situation, this guy called me. I was like, Lambo,
This is a
this is a different
okay.
scenario.
Okay.
The guy called me. Was like, Lambo, we have this show. First of all, people who organize shows go ahead to do everything and then forget the DJ or pay everybody what they want to be paid. And then when it comes to the DJ, they'll be like, sorry, we just forgot. We didn't even know we needed a DJ for the event. Like, so anyway, this guy calls me and is like, there's a small event happening. It's this and this. These are the people doing it, blah, blah, blah. It's a very small event. There's no budget, but take such and such. I was just like, okay, no problem. I'm free. Let's do it. Only for me to get to the venue, see production. Olamide was performing. Wande Cole was performing. I was like, so you mean you didn't pay Olamide, you didn't pay Wande Cole. It's me now that you're telling. I just sent him a message. I'm like, bro, this should not be waiting you tell me. So I beg, just send me extra 100K. I was actually very lenient, but this was like 2017 or something.
Yeah.
And after I told him send me extra 7, I was 100K. Yeah, naira.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm here, I'm not leaving, but I'm not going to press play until I receive that alert.
Yeah.
I was like, why you going to talk like this? I was like, send me 100K. 100K is not much. Yeah. Just send it to me now before your event starts. So I did that. I was happy that I did that.
Yeah, you stood your ground.
I stood my ground. But at the end of the day, I could have even asked for much more.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, things like that happen in the industry and it's really, really annoying. And sometimes people will just take it. You know what I mean? You just take it and take it and take it because also you're also trying to pay your bills. You also want these opportunities. So
it's good for your portfolio.
And that's what they used to deceive you, like, it's a great opportunity, just do it. So for me, what I was able to do was figure out like a certain figure that I was never going to go below. And like for me to just like leave my house, you have to pay me such and such. If you like be the smallest event, be it one person, be it two people, this is the least, this is the starting point. So I think that's been able to kind of help me.
Some sort of structure
in
place.
Yeah.
Okay. So should more women come and do DJ stuff or make everybody just stay in your
No,
lane?
I'm happy to see. Do you think
that the industry needs more DJs? Especially
of course. Of course.
So
I feel like women are even better DJs than men are.
You heard.
I feel like women are better DJs because we're more into things. We're more in tune. We're more like sensitive about getting the details right. Yes. You know what I mean? Doing things right and stuff like that.
Yes.
But like I said earlier, I feel like people are getting distracted by what they think the life is, and they are focusing on just coming out and doing some other things as opposed to like the actual art. I want a lot more women to be DJs. But I want a lot more women to be dope DJs. Okay. More than anything, more than your brand, more than how you look, more than anything. Just know how to DJ. Just DJ right.
Okay, so to this question now, I kind of want to know how you deal with it. Because I know that it can be hard for people to sort of make an opinion of you even before they get to meet you. You don't dress like the regular girl.
Yeah.
You don't do the profession of the regular girl. So how do you deal with
I have another story about that dressing thing.
It's story there.
But go ahead.
Yeah, like how do you deal with that? Because it's like before you even have the opportunity to even speak to somebody, they've formed an opinion of you, and having to always break through that barrier of that opinion, it's always, sometimes I feel like it's hard. Except it's not hard for you, but yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like when people meet me, they just forget all that stuff because at the end of the day, like I'm just me. I'm just Lambo. You know what I mean? I like to believe that I'm very down to earth and I'm very like easygoing. Like I can sit down having a conversation with anybody, anywhere, at any time. You know what I mean? So for me, I feel like that has kind of helped me in a way that if you had this impression about me, when you meet me, you're like, oh, actually, Lambo is actually cool. Lambo is
You're
not that
actually
bad.
cool. And you don't even have to try. Like, you're so cool. Yeah.
So I feel like that has kind of helped me. But obviously, there are some of the guys that some of all these
You just
men
want to,
will
like,
be say, you know what I mean? Like,
flex
yeah,
muscle.
yeah. The story I wanted to tell you was that there was this TV show. I don't think that show ever happened, by the way.
Okay.
But they were about to start recording. They did record, but I don't think it ever saw the light of day. Maybe now my head catch them. Can I speak?
Good
Can
for
I
them.
speak pidgin?
Good for everybody involved.
Anyway, so the guy was like, they were having a conversation, and they were like, oh, they needed a female DJ, and one female DJ, one male DJ, to be on the show, and they were going to pay such and such. They were going to shoot 10 episodes. They were going to pay in advance. Blah blah blah. I was so excited.
And it was at the start of your career.
And it wasn't really the start. It was like I had already started like making a name for myself already. And so the guy he was my business manager at the time, but he also used to manage MI Abuchi, was like telling me that because Abuchi was also my friend, and he would keep it real with me and tell me exactly why the deal fell through. So he was like, when they brought up my name, one of the guys was just like, no, we need someone sexy. Who's he was like, who am I even going to attract? Like, nobody finds Lambo attractive. Like, we need somebody that is going to dress sexy, that is going to do this and do that. So that for me was also I was just like, whatever. I can't not be myself just because I want to get some gigs.
But did that break you in any way?
Yeah, to an extent. I'm just like, maybe I should start dressing sexy and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I can't not be myself just because, do you get what I mean? And since then, I've done so much that I'm just like, there's no point. You know what I mean? And going the other way also has its own like disadvantages, not to put anyone down and stuff. But I guess the point I'm trying to make again, even though I had said it before, is just like focus on the art, and that would take you to wherever you need to go to. I'll give you an example. There's a DJ in Nigeria now called Dope Caesar, right? I've always really liked her. Like, first time I heard her set, I was like, man, this DJ is dope, you know? And it's no coincidence that her name is Dope.
Caesar,
you know what I mean? So, she's not like your conventional babe also. You know what I mean? She's cool. She has like a bald head. She's just in her t-shirt and her jeans. You can tell that one, she eats, lives, and breathes the music. You know what I mean? So recently, I think like about a year ago or so, she got really viral for a set she was playing, and she was playing. As she was playing, everybody was going crazy. She mixed one song with another song. I don't remember how she did it, but it was really mind-blowing. Even I had to like repost and be like, yo, bro, that set is mad. And it really went viral. She got like 200K followers overnight.
From that point?
From just that clip.
Wow.
Yeah. And so the point I'm trying to make is that if you have talents, right, that talent will take you even further than anything else. That's what sustains you.
Okay.
That's the point I'm trying to make. That's what would sustain your career. That's what would, like, don't focus on the small stuff. Just focus on knowing how to do this thing. Because if you come out now with you know what I mean, with the Brazilian hair, with the showing your cleavage, with the being sexy, like that guy said.
Yeah.
Fine, you get a lot of attention, obviously, good and bad attention. But what's going to make people
Keep you there.
yeah, what's going to make people keep wanting to come back is if you actually know how to DJ. I'll give you another example. There's this DJ called, she's also an actress, and I don't know how she started off, but she didn't start off as a DJ. She started off as an actress.
Okay.
She was more of an actress. Her name is Miss DSF. I don't know if you know her. But DSF is that babe that can actually DJ. She's actually hot, and she can actually act.
Okay.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, we have some people like that. They're just like,
And she's a babe. Like when you see her, like she's a babe. You know what I mean? So for me, I want to see more people like that. I want to see more people like the DSFs, more people like the Dope Caesars. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, just know what you're doing, because once people give you an opportunity, you need to impress.
Take it, yeah.
You literally have, like I said, for women, you need to work twice as hard to get half.
which is sad, but it's what we're living with.
Is the reality.
So where does work-life balance coming for you now? Because the other time you were in LA, now you squeezed me in because you leave for Lagos next week. So, like, when do you...
Man, there's no work-life balance.
No?
For me, the thing about me is that my life is my work, you know, and even though I say it's work, it's not even really work anymore. It's just, everything has just, it's now my life.
It has
Do you get what I
merged.
mean? Everything has just become like my life. So, the only thing for me now is I just try to make sure I rest. Because that work-life balance, when I'm working, I'm enjoying.
Okay.
Do you get what I mean? They go hand in hand. So I just make sure that I just have enough time to rest, because if I don't rest, then I'm killing myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just need to figure out, because it's like different time zones,
Yeah.
long flights. As soon as you get, like, you're off a flight, as soon as you get off that flight, you're going to sound check. From sound check, you're going back to your hotel to just bath, shower, have a bath or whatever, change, and you're back to the venue.
Yeah.
You're at the venue, you're waiting or you're hanging around, whatever. You're not actually like resting. Do you get what I mean? Even when you're flying, even if you sleep on the plane, you still come down feeling tired, you know?
Yeah.
So
anybody who
You
wants
just-
to come into your life needs to understand that music comes first, or DJ.
yeah, so my career, I would say, comes first.
No place for anything else.
No, well, there's place for everything else, just from second place down. You know what I mean?
Okay.
For me, like, work-life balance is just, and sometimes, like, when I travel, there was a tour Burna did in 2022, which was a Caribbean tour. On that tour, I just made sure that, even though it was hectic, I made sure that I enjoyed myself. Like, I made sure I went to the beach at every stop. I made sure that I did one or two things here and there. So even when it was time to work, I knew that, okay, I'd already
You had
enjoyed
some
myself
fun.
during the day. I'd gone out, done my thing, and then do my work, and then on the plane the next day. You know what I mean? Even if I'm in a city for just one day, I try to just like explore a little bit and
do
see a
nice
little
things
bit
for
of the city.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also saw that your dad used to be a DJ.
My dad used to be a DJ. So
maybe
it's
that
funny.
influenced your...
Well, my dad introduced me to music.
Okay.
Like, obviously I love music a lot. Music is my life. But getting into music was my dad's influence big time. When I was born, I didn't know my dad was a DJ until I became a DJ. My mom was like, "Oh, you know your dad used to be a DJ." I was like, "Oh, no wonder."
Yeah.
Because growing up, like, my house was filled with music. We had records for days. We had these huge speakers. some amps, some things that when I think about it now, I wonder what they used to do, what they were for. You know what I mean? But I guess back in the day, you needed more equipment to do
Stuff
even
like that,
stuff that we're
yeah.
doing now. You know, so we had all that stuff, but my dad loved music, and when he would take me to school in the morning, because my dad used to take just me to school. My brothers used to carpool with some of our neighbors. So on our way to school, he would play all sorts of music, like from so my range, I would
Yeah.
say, and my love for
wide.
music is really wide, like different genres, from Fela to Shina Peters to there's this band called Baba Legba. Recently, I tried to find it, but I don't know.
Where?
If you're listening and you know of anybody
Please
or a
hook us
band
up.
called Baba Legba, just try, because my dad was an Egba man, and it was like, I don't even know what genre that was. I don't know if it was high life or if it was, and then of course there was Ebenezer Obey, like
Yeah.
amazing music. We don't make music like that
They
anymore.
don't.
We don't.
Yeah.
Really
So
dope.
you're like up and about mostly this period. This is like the busiest
Yeah,
period.
but I'm going to be mostly in Lagos.
This by this I mean like December.
Yeah,
Is the busiest.
yeah.
Okay, I'm going to let you go now. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I had
you.
such an amazing time.
I hope you did.
Hopefully
I hope I
one
didn't
day-
talk your ear off.
No, you gave us a lot of insights. Hopefully one day I can come to one of your shows when you're playing in Toronto or anywhere. Or when I'm in Lagos and you're playing. Go
I
ahead.
have an event called Not Another Day Party. It's coming back next summer. It's here. Not Another Day Party.
Next summer?
Shameless.
Okay, in
Or
Toronto?
spring, yeah.
Okay.
I'm taking it everywhere. I'm doing one in Lagos this December. In like February, I'm gonna do LA. So for Toronto, it's coming back next summer. But I'm taking it around. We're gonna do London, New York, LA, Johannesburg, back to Lagos again. So yeah, Not Another Day Party. Go follow, like our videos, share, whatever.
Yes. If I'm close by whenever, I cannot wait
You're
to come.
definitely going to come.
to come
like,
and
definitely.
have some great time. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you
If
for
I had my
having
way,
me.
we'll keep talking and talking. And I cannot
Thanks for
wait to
having
see
me.
you dominate the world.
Yes,
I will be
it's
rooting
coming.
for you.
Stay tuned. Amen. From
Thank
your
you.
lips to God's ears.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for having me.